What's up, everybody? It's Jason, Zombie Collector, and I just thought I'd have a little chit chat. In Indiana recently, starting on July 1st, you can no longer use your phone while driving. No talking, obviously no texting, which I don't text and drive. But you no longer can drive, so I can no longer do my Jason Handy videos via driving. Well, I mean, I could, but then I have to possibly get a ticket. So I won't be doing that anymore. So it'll either be me standing still somewhere and just looking off into the distance. I've done a few of those. Or maybe I'll just turn the camera around and have it look at me now that I figured out the camera and how it works and things won't be inverted or whatever. But I did want to say, even though I'm not doing ball card videos anymore of my own personal collection, aside if I do PSA reveals or whatever, I'm still watching everybody. I'm still watching you out there. You right there. I'm looking at you right into your soul. And so I'm just seeing a lot of a lot of videos still being done in the community. I'm still watching my friends and some other people who might not be my friends, but people I just enjoy their channels. I wanted to tell a few people a few things. One, I'm not commenting as much anymore because I don't really think I have a lot to offer. I'm not watching anything. I'm not opening any new products. I'm not buying anything. So if I'm still liking videos, I'm still watching videos, so I don't want people to know. And also a lot with my work, I work from home, so I watch everything on my TV and I cannot comment on with my TV going. So I'm watching and listening, but I can't comment. So I want people to know I'm still there. And, if I gotten quiet or not as active, it's not because I just completely left, it's because I don't have the option to watch or comment as much. And I just don't know if I have that much to offer as far as anything relevant to new stuff. Which kind of brings me to what I want to talk about. I saw Mark, Stove Sports, and Bob. They did a video last week about how he's been away for so long, a month or so, 2 months, and how things have changed in that short time about the community and about the card collecting world in general. And the weird thing is, I've never talked to Mark about me leaving and my frustration with this community and the hobby at large. But it's weird that he echoed the exact same thing, the sentiment I had been saying for a month and a half, 2 months now. And it kind of just made me feel like, I wasn't off base from somebody who hasn't been around, come in and then everybody's channel is all about shelling and about flipping and about everything like that. I was glad to see somebody else come out and say, what's happened. And now that the whole Topps Project 2020 thing's over with, I believe for the most part, I think probably things have calmed down a smidge. But you still have just, this, wax is just ridiculous and stuff. And, like I said, it was a combination of, I don't know if I've ever articulated this clearly before. I think I've said this in bits and pieces in a lot of different videos. So I want to make it clear the reason why I hashtag walk away. Is that MLB has become a place where you can get woke and have your social justice causes met and needs being met as well. And the California teams are the first ones that said they're going to join this thing called the Alliance, and that they're going to rake in whatever money they can to give to all these social justice causes. And I can only imagine it's going to be like that in other parts of the United States with other teams before you know it. And so you have stuff like that. So I'm not want my money going to organizations like that. I'm done with it. I want you to get on the field and play baseball, or what in this case we're talking about baseball, and just leave that stuff home. And I'm still seeing that stuff pop up on my news feeds or whatever, so I check it out, and here we are, And, for every, Charles Barkley and Akeem Abdul-Jabbar that, tries to talk some sense to everybody, you have 100% almost, 98% of others that have microphones who are yelling the opposite of that, which is just, let's just talk about sports. Let's focus on sports. Let's talk about that stuff outside of sports. Let's not alienate the majority of your fan base and your owners and everybody else that involves this world. And it's worked. If that's what they were looking to do, I've heard so many people say they're done with sports. Now, some of you all in the sports car community feel differently, I'm sure. But if I've asked around a lot of people, people are done with sports. Like professional sports, they're done. You know, I hear it all the time because I'm always around parents and kids because my son plays, you know, three sports. And I hear so many of them saying they're finished. Now, if they really going to mean it, I don't know. But that's what they're saying. When I say it, I definitely do mean it. So you have that. I'm not giving any money to anybody who's going to use that money and for other purposes while they're telling me I'm an evil, terrible person, and then take my money and use it in ways that I don't see that it's fine by calling me this, that, and the other thing every time they get a chance. That's the stupidest thing in the world, is to give out your money to an organization or businesses or a group of people while they spit in your face. It doesn't even make sense. But we're all just like, okay, please do it to me. I want to do it, please. I like it. Give it to me. I like getting punched in the mouth and then made fun of, but then take my money. And that's what we have here in this community and the sports at large. Second, everybody's trying to make money off of all of us. Almost not every single, but a lot of channels, it's just nothing but auctions and fire sales, and that's all it is. It just feels like it's just one hamster wheel run nonstop of just trying to, like, you know, just suck everyone dry of their money and just whatever, so they can keep up their collecting and they're buying, so they're trying to make as much money off the backs of all of us. If it's not 15 different commercials in one video, you have one or two at the beginning. Sometimes people put them in the middle of their videos. They put them on the end of their videos. You already have that, and then you have people just always trying to sell stuff and all that stuff. And then you even have some people who be like, let's do a video talking about how it's all about the hobby, it's all about collecting, and the next video is like, I got an auction. It's just about more money making. I'm just so tired of seeing it and hearing it, man. Like that's what everybody be talking about. And then people be talking about how the people that I like and respect, and I think they're good guys, will be talking about, you know, it's not about the money, it's not about the grades, and then they're complaining the entire video about the money and about how everything's so expensive and how it's supposed to be a hobby and fun, but they're the ones who are like buying into it and saying it's not about the money, it's about the hobby, but they're complaining about the money. And they're also complaining about the grades they're getting. They're like, oh, this shouldn't be a 10, this should be a 9, this is BS and all this. I mean, you know, it's just always about, you know, how can they make some money and how they think that they have it all figured out. It's a one big just, you know, one gimmick after another, and it's just ridiculous. And then lastly, it goes back to everybody thinks that they know about the stock market of cards or something. Like that's what a thing that's turned into in the last couple, I don't know, 4 or 5 months at least. Everybody has these videos, and it's just like it turns into everybody talking about flipping cards or about the trajectory of a certain player or card and looking for the other cards that might be the hidden gems. You know, when Bob came up to me and we talked a couple days ago, and he was saying that, you know, like the cat's out of the bag on so many of the cards, so many of the different players and their cards now, that those cards are like through the roof for most people to buy. Even in raw form, because now you're charging people 10, 20, 30 bucks per card, and you're rolling the dice if that card's going to end up being graded a 10. And we're talking about new cards, of course, like the last set from 2017, 18 on. And then if you're going to get a 10 or not, and then if that card's going to sustain whatever you have invested in that card to make your profit off of that card. And he was talking about how, you know, people are looking for that next thing, and all of a sudden people were like, if you go back and watch over the last 6 months, 8 months, everybody was just running their mouths about how Ohtani was, you know, done, and he was overhyped, and he has done nothing to get people excited about. And that, you know, that's just a waste of money, and it's laughable that people are spending their money on Ohtani. He is unproven. He's already hurt and surgery with Tommy John. And now all of a sudden, everybody's talking about how Ohtani's a hot new thing. What has happened since the last 6 months when everybody's running their mouth about how Ohtani is, you know, not a worthy investment and how it's a stupid invest in him? You know what I told Bob, and it's true, is that the cat's out of the bag on everybody else. So now they're scraping the barrel to find anybody else who might have some semblance of life. And now all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, Ohtani, he has promise. The same people who said I wouldn't spend any money on Ohtani, that's a fool's errand, now all of a sudden are wanting to spend money on Ohtani. The reason why is because there ain't nobody left. Everybody else has already moved on to like all the top prospects and all the up and comers and all the ones who've already been playing and all that stuff. So they're trying to like find anybody left. Now all of a sudden, Ohtani has done 0 from 6 months ago, but all of a sudden there's nobody left. So Ohtani by default gets to be picked up and gets like idolized again and put up on the top shelf where he was on the 3rd or 4th shelf recently. And it's just it turns into what all you guys, I'm saying you all just like looking for the next hot card to try to flip or player, and it's taking the fun out of the game. And thank God I've already got a bajillion Ohtani rookie cards because I don't have to worry about people like jacking the price up on that. Because it's going to sound like it's happening, but that's the thing. I mean, like that's what it turns into. Like everybody's just chasing cards because everybody's just rolling the dice to see who can get lucky and who might be available that's going to have a breakout 60 games season this year. You know, and that's where we're at now. We have people who are telling you literally 6 months ago that this guy's essentially all hype, quasi broken down old horse. And now everybody's like, oh man, he's great. I mean, I just think he's, the next Babe Ruth, and he definitely is worth the hype and all this. And it's like, they're just telling themselves that because they want to get money for their cards, because everybody was like Ohtani was so down the river, this past year or so. Now all of a sudden he's like the next great thing. And I mean, we can say that about anybody, any certain players, but it's like everybody knows about all the other players. There's no secret on most of those guys now. So they're trying to find somebody else to try to make a quick buck. And I feel like there's some of these quote unquote influencers, they're like, they want to make a big racket about certain players because they want to try to move some of their product so that they can get enough schmucks like you guys out there to like go and start bidding up and buying and trading and selling all these certain players, and there's enough, a noise about it, that they're going to be sitting at the very top and make the most money off of you guys because they're going to get enough people all riled up, and then they're going to be able to sell their cards for a higher price. And so they just put their feelers out there to see what might bite, what they can, they're going to go out there and like go trout fishing for a trouty and see what all they can pull out of there. And everybody just falls in like zombies, just bumping into each other. Oh, let's go to that player now. Let's go to that player. Let's go to this player. What's next? And these are the reasons why I have #walkaway. Because it just gets ridiculous, man. I mean, you all might not understand. Well, probably everybody understands, even more than me. But like, doesn't it get old? Doesn't it get old that every time you turn on a YouTube channel, that everybody's trying to be like they're a professional card flipper and they're God's gift to like knowing where the market is and who to buy and who to sell and when to buy and when to sell, and everything's about flipping and everything's about how they can make money and how you can be the next guy. It sounds like a pyramid scheme like Amway or something, and it's just ridiculous. Doesn't it get old? Whatever happened to just collecting? Whatever happened just to be happy with a hobby? I mean, people who do that are just so disingenuous when they're like, oh, it's all about the hobby, and don't forget about the hobby. You don't have to have money to collect. But it's like, yeah, the very next video, you're showing off all your PSA, your 500 PSA card submission results. And I'm like, don't give me that, man. Like, that's just ridiculous. That's literally so asinine. And that's the reason why I just get so tired of it. There's like so many fake people. There's like too many fake people out there. It's hard to find any genuine dudes anymore. And the ones that are, who you think start out as your friends, they just use you until they can get what they want out of you and they move on. And I mean, this is ridiculous. It's all just so superficial. It is a lot of superficial people out there. And I thought that stuff stopped in high school, but I'm the one that was stupid because I believe that when somebody actually makes an effort that is genuine, but it's really just a way to have them help you help them. And it's just one of those, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours until I'm done scratching your back. Because I've got enough I want out of you, I'll move on to somebody else, a bigger fish or whatever. It's just ridiculous. I'm done with it. And I mean, honestly, I gotta be honest with you guys. I've been doing I've done a handful of videos involving cards, but guess what? They've been care packages. It's not been me buying nothing. My DVD, my movie videos, got the exact same amount of people watching those, and sometimes even commenting. Shockingly. And I don't know if that's still the people in this community. And if it is, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you all. But I mean, I don't know. And like I said, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for my enjoyment. I'm not doing it to try to get the likes or the subs. You know, I do like the comments. But I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, I felt such a relief from being able to let it go, like Elsa says in Frozen, just let it go. And I felt very good about that. So, guys, that's my Jason Handy video. I'm sure that'll get some results of people talking, but I am getting tired of it. And I'm sure I've had a lot of people tell me that, but it's kind of made me feel good when you have Mark. And, you know, I've had other people tell me, like, you know, off you know, YouTube, because they still want to play nice with everybody, that it gets old. And it's always just about how much money, how much flipping, what the current market's all about, how wax is this and wax that. And I got to go back and say, there's one guy in particular, and it just irks me. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to be that guy. But you all know who it is, and he'll know if you watch this video who I'm talking about. But you have guys that literally go in and buy up all the wax at these like Walmarts and Targets and whatever. And I mean, what kind of scumbag move is that? You know, seriously. I cannot stand that. You know, that right there is not about the hobby. It's not about collecting. It's not about PC. That's just purely about money. And that is what it's all about. It's all about money. It has nothing to do with the hobby. And if you tell yourself it is, or you tell somebody else that, you're just lying. And it has zero to do with the hobby. And that takes away the joy from people who actually are collecting for the hobby. And kids, or people like myself, or the occasional collector, or whatever. And you go in there and you wipe out the entire store of every box of Bowman or whatever. It's just, it's sad and it's pathetic that that's what you do. And now you have people who, like, that's what they live for, is finding ways to take advantage of the situation. And they take that box they bought for $20 and they try to double their money in the exact same day because they know they can, and everybody goes along with it. No one decides to call these people out. No one be like, yo, man, seriously, you went in there and bought like 50 boxes and now you're selling each one for 40, 50, 60 bucks a pop? Like, come on, man, for real? And no one wants to say that because I remove myself from all Facebook, baseball, or sports card groups. But I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes before. I've seen it on YouTube, people talking about it. I've seen it with their videos where they're showing them taking them on, they're throwing them in the cart. And now you have people here who just like, oh yeah, I do that. No, maybe not all the time. And I mean, of course, the people who do always do that aren't going to say it, that they do it all the time. But we know that the people who do are out there in this community who do that, who literally go into these shops and they go, oh yeah, I was able to find one or two, and they end up spending, I got 40 boxes of this stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just ridiculous, man, because everybody knows that retail's the only way you can halfway afford to get these cards if I get most maximized bang for your buck. Because the hobby boxes, you have to like sell a child and probably amputate your leg so you can go and get some because it's so expensive now. So the only way to do it is essentially doing it through retail boxes. And then you have people like, you know, that are floating around in this community, and of course, not in this community, who go and buy it all up and take out the joy from people who do like to collect. Man, I just gotta say that's messed up. It's super messed up, and I don't want to be method with any of you all who do stuff like that. So you can go meth yourself in your pants and in life. So go meth yourself up, man. So until next time, meth does not do a body good. Don't check it out.